A teenage boy stranded on a deserted island unexpectedly encounters a beautiful girl, unaware that this chance meeting will completely change his life. Toby is an internet-addicted teen obsessed with scrolling through TikTok, spending his days lying on the couch glued to his phone. A few months earlier, his father had asked him to go along and help repair the car, but Toby refused because he wanted to keep playing on his phone. His father never returned, and when Toby finally noticed the commotion outside, he saw his father lying in a pool of blood. After this tragedy, Toby made a firm decision to quit his bad habit of constantly being on his phone. Following his teacher's advice, he enrolled in a program called Lost and Found, where participants had to survive alone on separate islands in Malaysian waters. Each trainee had to endure 3 days and nights before being allowed to leave. Unfortunately, Toby's luck was bad. He was assigned to an island full of monkeys. Upon arriving, he was frightened by a monkey's corpse, and when he turned around, he realized all the food he had brought had already been stolen by the monkeys. Toby had no choice but to try fishing in the sea, yet as a homebound gamer, he clearly had no idea how to catch fish. After struggling along the shore, not only did he fail to catch anything, but he also cut his foot on a shell. His blood seeped into the water and was instantly absorbed by a mysterious mask, though Toby remained completely unaware of it. As night fell, hunger gnawed at him, and he decided to risk venturing into the forest to search for food. In the bushes, he found a few coconuts, but just as he bent down to pick them up, a dark shadow flashed behind him. To his shock, it was a monster with goat-like horns. Seeing the creature charging at him, Toby quickly grabbed a flare gun and fired at it. Whether he hit or missed, he couldn't tell, because immediately afterward he fainted. When Toby woke up again, it was already the next day. The monster from last night had vanished without a trace, but on the beach stood a beautiful girl. Toby fell for her at first sight and secretly followed her deep into the forest, though she soon noticed him. Strangely enough, the girl, whose name was Madeline, wasn't offended by his behavior. Instead, she invited him to her secret hideout. There, Madeline prepared a delicious lunch for Toby, and the two chatted as they ate. During the meal, Toby even revealed that he was participating in a survival training program. After lunch, Madeline was about to head home, and Toby originally intended to follow her, but he was startled back by a poisonous snake blocking his path. The tent Toby built the previous day had already been destroyed by the monster, leaving him with nowhere to stay, so he temporarily took shelter in Madeline's secret hideout. Late at night, he woke from a nightmare and suddenly heard footsteps nearby. Thinking Madeline had returned, he followed the sound, only to catch sight of the same monster from the night before. The shadow vanished in an instant, and Toby convinced himself he must have been seeing things, so he returned to the hideout and rested. The next morning, Madeline came again to cook for him. When she noticed the wound on his foot, she picked a red fruit to treat it, then taught Toby how to build a shelter and how to fish with a handmade spear. After spending the day together, Toby developed a deep affection for Madeline, even beginning to feel that 3 days was far too short and not nearly enough time to spend with her. But the time for parting inevitably arrived, and Madeline was preparing to go home again. Toby was reluctant to let her go and even wanted to follow her, but Madeline warned him not to come with her or her mother would kill him. Ignoring Toby's protests, she ran deep into the forest. Meanwhile, the staff who had come to retrieve Toby had already arrived on the island. Not finding him on the beach, they ventured into the forest to search, but waiting for them there was not Toby, it was a terrifying monster. On the morning of the 4th day, Toby kept waiting but no staff came to pick him up. He thought he had missed the pickup time, and just as he was feeling lost and helpless, he noticed a mess of items floating on the sea not far away, looking very much like supplies from a rescue boat. Confused, Toby followed the direction the debris had drifted from and soon discovered a small boat overturned by the waves. As he was about to approach and check, a woman suddenly crawled out of the cabin with a load of supplies strapped to her back. She was none other than the dangerously threatening mother Madeline had warned him about. After she left, Toby hurriedly sneaked into the cabin, only to find the lifeless corpses of the staff who had come to rescue him, their eyes wide open in death. Terrified, Toby froze in shock. With the rescuers now dead, Toby had no one to rely on and could only turn to Madeline for help. He passed through a cave covered in strange carvings and, on the other side of the island, came upon a burned-down house that clearly had once been inhabited. By secretly following Madeline's mother while she was out hunting, Toby managed to find their home. Inside, he discovered several photos of Madeline with her parents, along with a generator and a working walkie-talkie. To his surprise, the device still functioned, so he quickly grabbed it and tried to call for help. But just as he got halfway through his message, Madeline and her mother returned, forcing Toby to hide. While hiding, he noticed an incredibly lifelike monster's head and wondered if Madeline's mother was actually the goat-horned creature he had seen, but why would she disguise herself as such a terrifying monster? After witnessing her obsessive control over her daughter, Toby didn't dare linger there any longer. He found a chance to greet Madeline and then returned to the beach. Over the next few days, he practiced various survival skills while trying to find a way to signal for help. One day, he noticed someone on a neighboring island using a mirror to send signals and realized it must be another participant in the program. He quickly lit a fire on the beach to signal them. As night fell, Madeline arrived, and Toby told her about the fate of the rescuers, even speculating that it was her mother who had killed them. Hearing this, Madeline shared her own story. Almost all her memories before the age of 7 or 8 were gone, but she was certain that the island had once been home to many people. Then a tragic event occurred, leaving everyone dead, and when young Madeline opened her eyes again, she saw her mother covered in blood. From that moment on, her mother strictly controlled her, forbidding her from ever leaving the island. The more Toby listened, the more he realized that Madeline's mother was the legendary deranged killer. He urged Madeline to leave with him, and after some thought, she agreed. The next day, a plane flew over the island, but Toby had been sleeping too deeply, and by the time he heard it and rushed out to signal for help, the plane had already left. Fortunately, he discovered an old, dilapidated lighthouse on the island. The lighthouse had stood for over 100 years. Though it looked dilapidated, its basic functions still worked, except it had no fuel. While Toby searched for fuel, Cameron, who had been stranded on the neighboring island, suddenly appeared. He had seen the fire Toby lit and rowed over to investigate. Upon learning that a deranged killer was hiding on this island, Cameron urged Toby to return with him to his own island first. But Toby insisted on taking Madeline with him. Cameron thought Toby was blinded by attraction, risking even his own life, while Toby saw Cameron as cold and heartless. This led to a heated argument, and the two parted angrily. Toby then ran to Madeline's home, intending to escape with her, only to find that she wasn't there. Just as Toby was about to head back, he ran straight into Madeline's mother returning from hunting. Strangely, she didn't know where her daughter had gone either. Although she didn't make any move to harm him, a terrified Toby pushed her away and ran. Once he started running, Madeline's mother instinctively gave chase, but fear of death pushed Toby to astonishing speed, and she couldn't catch him. Perhaps focused entirely on Toby, she accidentally stepped into a trap during the chase, hitting it dead on. Facing what seemed like the end of her life, Madeline's mother revealed the truth to Toby. The one who had killed the rescuers was not her, but the seemingly innocent and harmless Madeline. Madeline's father, a scholar, had originally brought his wife and daughter to the island for research. Due to a language barrier, the three accidentally stumbled into a ritual site where a tribal priest was sealing a demon. Young Madeline was possessed by the demon and killed everyone present except her mother. To confine the demon to the island, Madeline's mother had no choice but to strictly watch over her daughter, even disguising herself as a monster to scare away anyone who wandered onto the island. She handed Toby a bag of red fruits, explaining that they could temporarily suppress the demon inside Madeline, and warned him never to let Madeline leave the island. After giving him this warning, Madeline's mother took her last breath. Meanwhile, the demon-possessed Madeline found Cameron, dragged him into the dark underbrush, and in the blink of an eye, devoured him. When Toby returned, all he saw was a fresh pool of blood on the ground. Upon learning that her mother had died, Madeline became strangely exhilarated and immediately threw herself at Toby, insisting on leaving with him. Toby was momentarily captivated by her kiss, nearly forgetting his mission, but just then, the demon inside Madeline emerged again. Toby instantly snapped back to reality, striking her unconscious and stuffing a large handful of red fruits into her mouth. After subduing her, he quickly ran to the mother-daughter's cabin and searched it, soon finding a barrel of gasoline. Carrying it up to the lighthouse, Toby followed his father's example and opened the engine's valve, pouring the entire barrel in. As he worked, the lighthouse's spotlight suddenly ignited, the bright beam dispelling the surrounding darkness and giving Toby a renewed sense of safety. But he soon realized his excitement had been premature, because even by midnight, he still saw no rescue ship on the sea. Disappointed, Toby climbed down from the lighthouse, only to step on a rotted wooden plank and fall down the stairs. In his panic, he grabbed a nearby vine, and when he came to his senses, he realized it had red fruits, the same ones Madeline's mother had given him. Just as Toby prepared to leave, the large door in front of him suddenly slammed shut. At the same time, a fully demon-possessed Madeline lunged at him. In the darkness, Toby couldn't pinpoint her position, let alone subdue her with the red fruits. During the struggle, the juice from the fruits splashed into his eyes, and he rushed to the sink to wash them out. It was then, by chance, that he noticed a broken shard of mirror in the water. Recalling that Madeline's mother had once said the demon had a natural fear of light, Toby instantly came up with a plan. He used the mirror shard to reflect the lighthouse's beam directly into the demon's eyes, blinding it. While the demon lay incapacitated, Toby set a fire inside the lighthouse. At this moment, Madeline seemed to regain her senses, looking at Toby with a pitiful expression, but this time he showed no mercy. He closed the lighthouse door and ran swiftly toward the sea. As the camera pulled back, a small boat could be seen slowly approaching the island. Toby excitedly swam toward it, but just as he was about to reach it, a grotesque demon suddenly emerged from beneath the sea. By morning, compassionate sailors had rescued a seemingly fragile girl, yet it was clear that Madeline, now freed from all restraints, would unleash a tremendous disaster.